No.
Hello and welcome to Orc Rogues. My name is Thomas, and as you will see, this is not Derek.
I'm not Derek.
You're not Derek.
Okay.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the lovely people?
How you guys doing today? I am Kelly, otherwise known as Zord Base Commander. You guys can find me on Twitch and or YouTube under that name.
Unfortunately, Derek is actually out of town right now attending to some family business. Please do keep him in your thoughts and prayers if you are the praying type. They've got some stuff going on, so he is not with us, and Kelly has graciously agrees. Yeah, we'll go with that. Words are hard. Agreed to guest host with me here today. Now, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. First up, some big news from Disney and Lucasfilm. That's right, I said it. Lucasfilm.
They're finally going to finish Battlefield 3?
Battlefield 3?
Battlefront 3.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's never going to happen.
Well, actually, did you know that there's a group of modders that are going to be releasing the original Battlefield Front 3 that we expected?
That would be amazing. I would love to see that. But no, far more important than that. Well, maybe not. We have a title for Star Wars Episode 8. Most of you have already seen this because it literally showed up on my news feed as soon as I hit the post button on the last video. But we have a title for episode 8. It is Star Wars The Last
Revenge of the
Jedi.
Sith? Oh, no. Return of the Jedi. Oh, Last Jedi.
That was sad.
That
was sad. Yeah, Star Wars The Last Jedi. And we got this big, beautiful poster-looking thing with red font on the Star Wars, and in between Star and Wars, white font, The Last Jedi. Now, I want to know what the heck they're talking about.
Well, it's assuming that Kylo Ren and his little group of stooges wiped out the entire Jedi Academy, and there are not any more Jedis left besides old Luke hiding.
But is it referring to Luke, or is it referring to Rey?
Right now, it would be Luke. I mean, he is technically the last Jedi because she hasn't been trained at all. And what she has learned, it's because, her grandpappy taught it to her, Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan?
Oh, yeah.
She's an Obi-Wan. With the Rey Kenobi theory?
She's a Rey Kenobi.
I don't know that I buy that.
Okay, first of all, she's not a whiny. She's not whiny. She is not so whiny true. At all, okay? Anakin, whiny little girl. Luke, until later on, whiny little girl. Do I even need to say Kylo Ren?
Oh, no.
Hissy
I think we all know.
Hissy fits beyond belief. Okay, so we have Rey.
Yep.
Very calm, very cool, very collective. She fights like Obi-Wan.
She does. There's been a lot of mention in the fan theories. It's a possibility, but who would she be the descendant of?
He was on Tatooine for years.
As a hermit.
Who cares? Hermits get frisky sometimes. The Jedi Order is gone. He probably found himself a nice looking, Denzine somewhere on there that looked human enough and knocked the boots. That, and there's also a theory out there because at one point during what is it
Clone
called?
Wars?
No, yeah, Clone Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars. Him and the Mandalorian Empress had a little fling.
Yes.
Now, Sabine in Rebels is thought to be the daughter of Sabine, whatever. The Mandalorian Empress is supposed to be her. They're hinting that she is the daughter.
And so the thought goes that she's the daughter of Obi-Wan. So Rey is the daughter of Sabine?
It's quite possible.
Well, there you go. It's out there. We said it. If that is the case, we said it. There's a ton of theories about these next two movies, what we're going to see. Tons of theories about who the heck Supreme Leader Snoke is.
It's Jar Jar.
If you have not seen the Jar Jar is Snoke video,
it's beautiful.
It's really compelling, and it is disturbing how compelling it is.
Whatever nerd thought that up, I applaud him.
Hats off to you, sir.
That brilliant, absolutely freaking brilliant. Because I wouldn't have that much attention span to do that, and that was just beautiful.
Have you heard the Mace Windu Snoke theory?
Yeah.
That there is a theory circulating that Mace Windu is Snoke. That when Palpatine threw him out the window, he lived because no Jedi has ever died from a fall.
He is Mother Fluff and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
I mean, come on now.
That is very true. But tons of theories, tons of interesting little ideas here about what we might see, who the Last Jedi. Okay.
Last Jedi is?
Words are hard. I'm going to be saying words are hard a lot tonight, I think. But Star Wars is not the only thing we have to talk about today. Spalding's 127 has made a couple of requests. One is to talk about Westworld.
First of all, Spalding, we can't do that other request. I'm sorry. That's against the YouTube terms of service. And I'm not comfortable with getting naked. Okay, I'm sorry. So Westworld, if you guys have not seen Westworld right now is in its first season, and we have to wait a little while for season 2. So honestly, if I were you guys, I would wait till right before season 2 comes out, because you're going to just want to break something at the end of season 1. The series is phenomenal.
Now, I have not actually seen Westworld. I've heard a lot about it, and it sounds like it'd be good, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
It's the future.
Okay.
And basically somebody created life-like animatronics, like humans, and set up a theme park where rich people can come and...
Now, are we talking like Disney words are hard. Animatronics, or are we talking like Data from Star Trek Next Generation?
Like I could be one and you would never know.
So we're talking like Sense from Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, they can have sex. They can die. They can get shot.
Data
they
could
can
have
bleed.
sex.
Yeah, but Data was a little bit, in between.
Fair. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
And so you have this world. It's like a theme park for the rich. They come up there. They play cowboys and Indian. They shoot the host. They go off on these adventures. And there's each separate different little storylines that appear depending on, like a person shows up. Plays like an RPG more or less.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have like one of them, you pick some guy up off the ground and he says, I know where this treasure map is. And if you follow him, you go on this adventure to find a treasure.
Okay, so kind of like a live action tabletop sort of thing.
More or less.
That actually sounds like it'd be amazing if it were real.
Exactly. I'd be like, I'd go. It'd probably be expensive, but I'd still go. It would be a fun experience at least once or twice in my life, and so on. Well, as the story progresses, crazy stuff starts happening. Mm-hmm. And I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. Just know that what you think's going on is not going on. And time is all screwy, too. Not time travel.
Okay.
The progression of the story is weird. And then in the end...
I have to see it now because I had a very clear idea of what happened in this show, and apparently I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, and if I give something away, I apologize. This is just what I've heard.
Spoiler alert.
The AI is not becoming sentient?
Oh, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, we know that now.
Yeah, no, that's one of those things that they give you away in the trailers.
Okay. So no spoilers.
But
you're good.
But as far as the storytelling, I'm talking generally as the storytelling goes. Mm-hmm. It's not told in a linear way.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it gets very confusing at some points.
Gotcha.
But in the end, it all comes together, and there is this just awesome shot that sums up one of the characters at the end of it. Ed Harris standing there. And this is a spoiler alert, okay? He's standing there and he just got shot. And he's looking out on the tree line.
Gosh.
Looking out the tree line and he's seeing this event happening. And all he does is he smiles. That'll make more sense to you whenever you watch the entire show.
Okay.
But it's just that look on his face like, yes, is great. And you understand why, after you watch the show, he is so excited about all of this happening.
Okay.
But it just, the twists, the turns, the character progression is amazing. Everything. It's a fantastic show.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. It sounds amazing. Definitely up our alley. I need to talk to Derek about it, get him watching it.
Yeah.
Spalding's 127 had another request for us, and that was to give our top 10 pick for Best Video Games of 2016. Now, this is something we have not done on this show before, but we can definitely do more of. So very, very excited to see where this direction takes us. But I haven't kept up with the new games this year. Mostly I like to focus on the free ones. Kelly, on the other hand, has kept up with them. So why don't we start with number 10?
All right, okay, so top 10 actually got 3 games. They're kind of grouped in together as 3 games, and I'm reading off a list, by the way. I wrote this stuff down before we started this. And they are all 3 indie games. A game called Firewatch. Firewatch is about I can't remember his name anymore, dude who gets a job as a national forest fire watcher, basically stays in a cabin, wanders around the national parks, and it has this really interesting story. It needed a little bit more to it as far as story progression, character development. I wish it had multiple endings, but all in all, not a bad game at all. I enjoyed my experience with it, and honestly, at some point, I will play it again. The other number 10 is Darkest Dungeon, and if you haven't played Darkest Dungeon, do yourself a favor, buy it. Get it on Steam, sit down, and torment the crap out of yourself with Darkest Dungeon, because will give you hours upon hours.
Whoa, wait a second. Is this a horror game?
No.
Okay.
It can be kind of scary at some points, but only because of you are going to be very tense while playing it. It's a side-scrolling, dungeon.
Oh, okay.
Rogue-esque type game.
Because you know we have a thing about horror games here, right?
Yeah, I know you're a wuss.
I am not a wuss. We just did not get to the 50 subscribers.
I tried.
That was a challenge. And by the way, for all of those of you who waited to subscribe until after the deadline, thank you.
Actually, if you can get up to 50 to 60 followers, I'm going to make them play Alien Isolation in the dark.
I'm not going to.
Oh, you're going to do it?
I'm not going to do it. This is not a challenge officially issued or accepted.
Derek will back it up. Anyway, so Darkest Dungeon is very fun.
Or defined for that matter.
It is RPG, side-scrolling, rogue-esque kind of adventure, and it is really hard. It is no joke. Like, they have a feature that you can turn off your characters having a heart attack.
Wait,
yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. You dive into these dungeons, and as you go through, your characters lose sanity. If they go crazy, you got to put them in the nut house to heal them. You have to rotate through your heroes. Actually, they're more or less mercenaries.
Dang.
And some of them can have heart attacks and die. If your characters die, they're dead. They're done. No resurrection, no nothing. If you lose an entire team in the dungeon, you lost everything.
Yeah, start over from the beginning.
Well, you got to start over with what you have at your home base, because you can hire mercenaries as you go along and get more money.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it is a very fun game and very frustrating game. We have the last bit of number 10 is Stardew Valley. If you have ever played like Harvest Moon, you'll love Stardew Valley. I've never in my life spent 4 hours farming and clearing things out so I can farm. It's fun. It's addicting. You should buy it, and it was made by one dude.
Now, this one I believe I've actually heard of. This one also has a fighting element to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can like dungeon dive on it.
I saw a little bit on this game. Definitely check it out. I'm going to check it out. It looks like it's going to be like it is really good. So I definitely check this one out.
It's fun. It is. I really enjoy it.
Number 9.
That Dragon Cancer. Now, if you haven't heard of what That Dragon Cancer is, it's one of those games where you're sitting there playing it and you're like, what jerk is cutting onions right now? It was made by this father who sat by his child while his child died of cancer. And during the process of it, he, instead of just kind of slowing down and losing himself, he made a game about it. And it is this very beautiful tale and story of his struggles and his life about it. And it was beautiful. The reason I did not put it at number 1 is because it is not very action-oriented or anything like that. It is just an amazing story. You should play it. support the guy who made it because he made it by himself, and cry like a little girl with a skin knee because, I didn't. Who's cutting onions?
No one.
No.
It's all you.
Uh-huh. So number 8.
Number 8.
Battlefield 1. If you're a fan of the Battlefield games, you'll like Battlefield 1. I enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of Battlefield. I own 3, 4 Bad Company, and Battlefield 1, probably the best out of the entire series of games. It's World War I.
Number 7.
Now, number 7 on my list happens to be the game of the year, and that's Overwatch.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. It's a great game. A little overrated.
It is. But it's a great game to play with your friends. Every Thursday, me and my best friend Tig, we get up on Discord. I invite as many people who want to come in and play. We rotate out players on my Twitch channel, and we play Overwatch all day. We make fun of each other. We laugh. Whenever somebody's playing Wilson, we yell code Harambe, because it's very, very crude, rude, and, it's funny. And it's fun. It's Overwatch. I don't take it seriously because I don't like the competitive part of gaming. That's not who I am. But I like playing it.
And do keep in mind, if you do check out his Twitch channel, he is not as family-friendly as we are. Just viewer discretion advised.
Actually, after 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am not family-friendly. Before that, probably about PG-16.
Number 6.
So this one, XCOM 2. If you've never played the XCOM games, well, you should. Sit down, get prepared to blow a vein out in your forehead, get angry, yell, scream, rage, because XCOM is one of those over the head, strategic tactical games like Final Fantasy Tactics, so on and so forth. You have your units, you move them around turn by turn. Turn-based strategy game. There we go. And it is infuriating.
Infuriating?
Infuriating.
Okay.
It is so infuriating that I said it wrong.
Gotcha.
But I love playing it because it is just addicting. It's fun. You sit down, you move around, you fight through these missions, and you have to make hard choices. Because if you screw up in one thing, you lose everybody. Somebody dies. If they die because you have a resurrection point, like they go down, you can still resurrect them. Resurrect them.
Words are hard.
Yes, words are hard. If they go below that point, they're done. You're done. You can't. They're completely gone. They get a monument in the base that says, fallen soldiers, so and so.
Number 5.
Number 5 is the Rage Inducer itself, the champion of broken controllers, Dark Souls 3.
Okay, I'm going to step in here. Just no. No. This game does not deserve to be on this list.
Yes,
this game does not deserve to have had 2 sequels made from it. This game should not exist in the first place. No.
There's 5 of them. Demon Souls.
Seriously, there's 5 of these
games like them. Yep. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3.
No. Stop making them. Just stop.
Don't ever stop making them.
Okay, and I'm just being hateful because I suck at them.
Yep.
They're great games. Don't get me wrong. Great games.
I love them.
I suck.
The learning curve is very, very sharp, but once you learn how to play it, you're fine.
Number 4.
Number 4, we have Titanfall 2.
Now, this is one that I have not gotten to play yet, and I do really want to play, because Titanfall was a great game, implemented very poorly. It had a great concept.
The idea
didn't work.
Was okay. It's just nobody gave... Okay, the biggest problem with Titanfall 1 is nobody cared about anything. It was literally just a multiplayer. Go, oh, let me run out and kill these people. Titanfall 2 gave you something to care about. In Titanfall 2, you have the main campaign where you are Jack Cooper, and he is a rifleman that gets thrown into the role of a pilot whenever his friend, who is a pilot, gets killed and transfers over command to BT. I can't remember his BT serial number, but he is the Titan. When he transfers everything over to Jack, BT and Jack have to go through this whole thing of learning each other. And for the first half of the game, you and BT are having this conversation, and you get to develop the relationship between you and BT in different ways. Like, you have a couple different choices on what you respond to him. And that's really awesome. I like that they added that there. It was not only, it was an FPS, so we had a very linear, corridor to go down. We knew where we had to go. But they added such a great story element to it that it made it worth playing a couple times. I've actually played it a couple times. There is a really intense scene, or portion, where you are actually jumping back and forth in time to traverse the areas. And
okay, that's interesting.
It's fun. It's an amazing sequence. There is a sequence right around the end of it where you have BT's core, the smart pistol, and smart pistol is an auto aim gun, basically.
I love that gun in the first one.
And you have to run from one side of a facility to the other side of a facility, and you're just running, pop, 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 just wasting everybody, so you can meet up with another Titan to put BT's core in it. And you have these sequences which are just absolutely fantastic. The boss battles, they could have used a little bit more, pep in them, but all in all, they weren't horrible. They weren't horrible at all. They were fun to a certain extent. There were some that were frustrating.
So in Titanfall 2, they actually make the Titan more of a character than a tool that your character uses.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to have to play this one too.
Yep.
Number 3.
All right, so this one's going to be a Telltale game. Batman Telltale. If you have not played any Telltale games, you're doing yourself an injustice.
Now, we did, last episode, we talked a little bit about Telltale games and how much me and Derek both love them. Now, I was talking about how they all seem to go back to the old point-and-click adventure games, the Sierra-style games.
Oh, yeah.
I love Telltale games. I love Batman. I agree that this should be on the list. This one looks amazing. Number 2.
Have you ever wanted to drive in a car with a boy band? Well, if you play Final Fantasy 15, you can get your very own Japanese boy band. They sing, they dance, they laugh.
Oh gosh,
they
I never thought of that before.
Minions.
I never thought of that. That is exactly what it looks like.
Yep. And they defend the world from evil. Listen, Final Fantasy 15 was fantastic.
Except for now I have that image in my head that I will never
destroyed.
get. Oh gosh.
It has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. It has some big flaws, like gaps in the storytelling.
So there you go. The
boy band
9 top games, but we've got one more left.
Number 1. Doom. If you haven't played Doom, just go buy the game and play it. It's an FPS. You're running around, tearing things apart, shredding them up, killing them, blowing things up. The main character doesn't say anything through the entire game, but you understand exactly everything about this guy. He's angry, he's pissed off, he wants to kill things, and he does it in the best way possible. Doom is my number 1 pick of the game of 2016. Play it, enjoy it. That's it.
And that was the top 10 video games of 2016. Well, that's about all we have time for today. Thank you all so much for joining us, and be sure to be looking out for next week's video when we'll be doing it again, bringing you more nerdy, geeky, and just plain fun talk. Hopefully we'll have Derek back. Like we mentioned earlier in the video, please do keep him in your thoughts and prayers. To both of us, he's a very dear friend, and we love his family.
And he's going through some hard times, so you guys keep him in your prayers, because he's a good guy, really good guy.
Also, big thanks to Volcano Vapor Lounge of Anderson, South Carolina for letting us film in this lovely place. Also, all of this artwork in the background. Take a moment, just pause the video. We're going to move aside. Pause the video. Look at that lovely art. All of that is done by a lady named Dixie, and if you want to check more of that out and get a chance to buy some prints or possibly the originals, you're going to be finding that at dixiesartstudio.com, and there will be a link in the description below, so definitely go check that out. And that wraps us up for the day.
Yes, it does.
If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. And if you have any questions, like, subscribe,
and comment.
Especially if you have any questions or
Please do.
Don't want to see him anymore.
I class up the joint. Don't let him lie to you.
Thank you all for joining us. We are Orc
Rogues.